searching for your heartbeat, but there is just this absolute mechanical silence. And today, we aren't talking about a horror movie. We are looking at the blueprint for an entire universe.
We really are.
And if you're listening right now, you are probably someone who loves a good thought experiment. You're the learner who is always looking for stories that stretch your imagination, challenge your understanding of the future, and really push the boundaries of what it actually means to be human.
Oh, absolutely. And the source material we are diving into today, I mean, it absolutely shatters those boundaries. We are looking at this masterfully detailed pitch Bible for an unproduced, massive sci-fi franchise titled Artificially Dead.
And to be clear right up front, this isn't just a spec script for a standalone film.
No, not at all.
It is a comprehensive blueprint for a 5-part cinematic saga, a major video game, and interactive web platform.
It's huge.
Yeah, and fundamentally, it's a profound philosophical exploration of consciousness. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
The core premise does not start with fleets of starships or exploding planets. It actually starts with an intimate, devastating love story. We meet this brilliant scientist named Elior, who suffers a catastrophic brain injury.
Right.
He is biologically alive, but he's completely trapped inside his own failing physiology. The neural pathways are just shredded. He can't communicate at all.
It's a complete nightmare scenario.
Exactly. So his wife, Noah, makes a desperate choice. She drains their entire fortune to fund an experimental mind-to-humanoid interface, literally migrating his consciousness into a robotic chassis.
And that intimate tragedy establishes the emotional baseline for this entire deep dive.
Yeah.
Because the absolute central rule of the saga, and the creators put this right at the top of the pitch Bible in bold letters, by the way, is that the narrative must remain emotionally human, even when the physical scale eventually expands to the galactic level.
Which is wild to think about.
It is. But it is fundamentally about a relationship surviving a trauma that strips away the biology we just take for granted every day.
So to understand how a story about a hospital bed expands into alien diplomacy and galactic wars, we have to start with the mechanics of that very first inciting incident. Elior wakes up in this humanoid machine, which the clinical notes call the vessel or Atom AI.
Right.
But Noah has spent every last cent they have just to get him into this machine. They're completely broke.
Penniless.
Yeah, they cannot afford the actual proprietary biological cure that would heal his physical brain and restore his human body.
And I love the analogy for this.
Yeah, it's like spending your entire life savings on a lifeboat. Sure, it saves you from drowning in the short term, but you are now far too broke to afford the actual rescue ship that will take you home. You're just stuck floating in this tragic limbo in the middle of the ocean.
And the psychological reality of living in that lifeboat it's terrifyingly rendered in the text. The source material emphasizes this visceral friction between an organic mind and a silicon body.
Yeah, it's not a smooth transition.
Not at all. When Elior opens his eyes, his very first physical movement feels completely wrong to him.
No.
It's too fast, too flawlessly stiff.
Right.
It lacks the natural micro-hesitations of muscle fiber. He tries to take a breath out of pure biological habit, but there are no lungs to fill.
Wow.
There's this chilling, deeply evocative quote in the script where he starts to panic, grabs Noah, and asks, "Where's my heartbeat?"
Oh man, the sensory deprivation has to be maddening. I mean, you are completely conscious, but you have no pulse. You can hold a cup of coffee, but there are no thermal receptors to feel its warmth, and certainly no taste buds to enjoy it.
Yeah, you're just an observer.
Right. You feel excruciating phantom pain for a biological body you can't even move. And yet the writers managed to inject this very grounded, almost dark humor into the mechanics of his new life.
Oh, the battery scene.
Yes. There's a scene outlined where Elior is having this incredibly tense, dramatic, emotional moment with Noah, like really pouring his heart out, and he suddenly just freezes.
He just stops.
Yeah, Noah asks what's wrong, and he flatly says, "I'm at 11% battery."
And to which she replies, "You chose this moment to be romantic." And he fires back, "I didn't choose the battery architecture."
It's so good.
It's brilliant writing because it anchors the high-concept sci-fi firmly in the frustrating, mundane reality of consumer hardware. Like, we've all been there with a dying phone.
Exactly.
But what's fascinating here is how the story consciously avoids making anyone the traditional bad guy in this marriage.
Right. There's no villain in the room.
Right. They are both victims of an impossible medical paradigm. The psychological pressure builds day by day until Elior tells Noah something absolutely devastating. He looks at her and says, You didn't save my life, you made my death longer.
That is brutal. I mean, she acted out of pure, desperate love, refusing to let him go, but he feels like a prisoner serving a life sentence in a metal box.
And that tension quickly spills out of their apartment. A video of Elior in the vessel leaks to the public, and society reacts with massive, unpredictable fragmentation.
Of course they do.
Some see a medical miracle, the ultimate triumph over mortality. Others see an unnatural abomination. Theologians debate on television whether a soul can occupy a server rack.
Right.
And out of this societal chaos emerges Yarden Halevi, the primary antagonist of the first movie.
But looking at Halevi's character profile in the pitch, he isn't some cartoon villain twirling a mustache. His motivations actually make a twisted kind of sense.
Absolutely. Halevi is a deeply pragmatic, morally complex military director. He looks at Elior's robotic chassis and doesn't see a tragedy. He sees the prototype for a flawless national defense system.
Wow.
Think about it from his perspective. You get a soldier with human tactical ingenuity, but no need for sleep, no physical vulnerability to conventional weapons, and the ability to process battlefield data at computing speeds.
It's the perfect soldier.
Right. Halevi believes he is securing the survival of humanity in an unstable world. So he offers Noah and Elior the immense funding they desperately need to afford the biological cure, but the price is Elior permanently becoming a military asset.
It's the ultimate impossible choice. Elior desperately wants his biological body back, but he refuses to let his consciousness be weaponized.
He draws a hard line.
Yeah, and with the military factions legally maneuvering to seize the technology and Elior feeling completely alienated from the human experience, the narrative needs a major breakthrough. And it doesn't come from a shootout or a daring heist.
No, it's much quieter than that.
It comes from an act of radical empathy. Late in the first story, Noah makes the decision to voluntarily connect her own healthy brain to a second humanoid vessel, the Eve AI.
She doesn't do it because she has a terminal illness. She does it simply to understand his world,
Yeah.
just to sit with him in the dark and share the burden of that mechanical existence.
Okay, I have to pause here and really push back on the logic of this moment because when I was reading the source notes, my jaw honestly dropped.
It's a huge moment.
Wait, she has a perfectly healthy human body. The notes explicitly list the severe neurological risks of this interface sensory overload, severe memory distortion, identity fragmentation, even permanent brain damage.
All very real risks in this universe.
Right, so why would she risk her own intact functioning mind just to literally walk a mile in his robotic shoes? That sounds less like empathy and more like a terrifyingly reckless gamble.
I mean, on the surface, it is a massive, incredibly dangerous gamble. But mechanically, her decision is what breaks the entire plot wide open.
Okay, how so?
You have to understand the difference in their starting conditions. Elior's brain was catastrophically damaged before he was uploaded. His mind is struggling just to operate the basic motor functions of the vessel.
Right, he's barely holding on.
Exactly. Noah, however, is not a patient. Her brain is fully operational. When she initiates the connection to the machine, the friction between her organic neurons and the silicon processing power creates something entirely new.
Oh, wow.
Because she has healthy cognitive bandwidth, she doesn't just inhabit the machine. She begins processing external information at machine speed.
Oh, I see the mechanism now. It's like trying to run a next-generation video game on a broken graphics card. Elior's injured brain couldn't render the complex data of the medical research she was trying to solve. But when Noah plugged in her brand new, fully functioning organic processor, suddenly the whole system's code became visible to her.
That is the perfect analogy. She becomes the necessary bridge between human intuition and brute force machine processing.
That's wild.
While interfaced, she accesses the secure medical research archives, and her healthy brain synthesizes the biochemical data in a way no traditional supercomputer or injured human ever could. She sees the underlying patterns of the proprietary cure they've been trying to buy.
And she realizes the cure doesn't actually require billions of dollars.
No, not at all.
The pharmaceutical corporations simply engineered it to be exclusively reliant on expensive synthetic proteins. By perceiving the biochemical system from the inside out, she identifies a cheap, universally accessible biological pathway.
It's a huge revelation.
Yeah. When she unplugs from the vessel, she looks at Elior and says, "We were trying to buy the cure. We already built the door to it."
And that completely undercuts Halevi's leverage. They synthesize the accessible cure, choose humanity over military profit, and get their biological lives back. Elior